Hello student, my name is Nimesh Prabhakar. I am Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in Instrumentation and Control Department. Welcome to Process, Dynamic and Control lecture series.
In my previous lecture, I discussed about dynamic behavior of boiler. So in that lecture we discussed about boiler, basic parts of the boiler and what is boiler and some function of the boiler. Now in this lecture we will discuss about first we discuss about the swell and shrink reaction. That means, in other words, it is also known as the swelling and shrinking effect in the boiler drum. And now then after we discuss about the inverse response of the boiler, and the last one we discuss about the feed forward control. So now we start with the swell and shrink reaction. So first of all, question occur in mind: what is swell, what is shrink, and how it happen in the boiler. So what is the connection between the swell, shrink and the boiler? So to understand this, we see here. So this is a simple boiler structure. Here we only consider the drum part because here we require only drum part. So we focus only in the drum part. So this is a boiler drum. In this we know here the water is inside this water, and this is the system of the feeding water inside system. That means this is a inlet of the water, and we know the function of the boiler as we discussed in the last lecture, to convert this water into the steam, to generate steam. So here the steam outflow is here represented by here. So this swell and shrink effect occur in this boiler drum. So how it happen, how it occur, we see a sudden increase or decrease in a steam flow changes the pressure in the steam drum and boiler circuit. We know this boiler drum is a closed arrangement. That means inside this boiler, if we change the flow of this steam outlet, so if we change this flow rate, according to that, inside this water boiler drum, the pressure is increase or decrease. That means if suddenly we increase the steam flow rate, outlet flow rate, then suddenly decrease in the pressure inside this drum, and we reduce the steam flow rate, then pressure will increase inside this drum. So due to this increase or decrease in the flow rate or in the pressure, the swelling and shrinking effect occur. The change in pressure will cause a change in both boiling point and the density of the water and steam. So this combined reaction will cause the level in the steam drum to increase or decrease rapidly. That means due to the flow rate changes, that means this outlet flow rate of steam changes, due to this the pressure of inside this boiler drum is increased or decreased, and due to this the level of inside this boiler, like a water level, is increased or decreased suddenly. So the increase and decrease in the water level caused by the pressure change are commonly referred as a swell and shrink reaction. So due to this increase or decrease in the pressure, the level of the water inside this drum is changed, and this effect is known as a swelling or shrinking, or also we can know swell or shrink reaction. Now we understand one by one. First of all, we understand the swell reaction. So here we take same figure. Now here a sudden steam load increase will naturally produce a drop in pressure in the steam drum, because initially at least the firing rate cannot increase fast enough to match the steam production rate at the new drum demand level. That means, as we discussed, if suddenly we increase this outlet flow rate of the steam, so due to that increase in the steam flow, here inside this drum the pressure is decreased. So due to this decrease in the pressure level, so suddenly it decreased the pressure level. So firing rate, that means here we give heat to generate the steam. So we cannot suddenly change the firing rate, or firing rate cannot be changed suddenly. So due to that the pressure difference is occur here. That means here we increase the flow rate, and due to that here the pressure is reduced. When pressure in the drum drop, it has a dramatic effect on the natural convection within the boiler. To drop in pressure causes a small fraction of a saturated water in the boiler to immediately vaporize, producing a large amount of boil up from most of the tube in the boiler. During the transient, most of the tubes temporarily become riser. The result is that the level in the steam drum above the combustion chamber riser. That means here we suddenly increase steam flow rate. Due to that the pressure is reduced, and here the pressure is reduced, so here the bubbles is produced over this water level. So due to that bubble producing, that means here the pressure is reduced, so large number of bubbles here produced. So due to that bubble level, here the level indicator, this is a indicate the false level. See here we can understand by the figure. See here this is the original water level, and due to reduction of the pressure inside this boiler, so the pressure is reduced, and due to that the temperature is increased inside this boiler, so produce a more number of bubbles over this water level, and due to that this level indicator, that means this level indicator indicate the level of water inside this tank, that indicate a false water level because of the presence of this bubble over this water. So this effect is known as swelling or the swell reaction. So in the swell, the indicator indicate the wrong or the false level, because actual level is this, and actual level is this, but due to presence of this bubble, the level indicator indicate the wrong reading. So this is a effect is known as the swelling effect. Okay, now for better understanding, let's we watch the one video so we can understand better. Here we can see the two tube. In one tube we give heat energy. So due to the giving the heat energy, so water is expand. See in the tube, compare with the first tube. So due to the given of the heat, the water start water is start expanding. So due to that the level indicator indicate the wrong reading. Due to the present presence of bubbles over the water. So this is known as a swelling effect. Now we discuss sink reaction or sinking effect in the boiler. So to understand this sink effect, we take same figure. If the steam output from the boiler is reduced, suddenly the pressure will increase in the boiler. So this is a opposite effect of the swelling. So in the swelling, we know the suddenly increase in the steam flow, the pressure inside this tank, pressure inside this drum is reduced. But in the shrinking effect, the opposite of this, that means due to reduction of the steam flow rate, that means here we reduce the steam flow rate. So to reduce steam flow rate, the inside this boiler drum, the pressure is increased. Right or wrong? Pressure inside this drum is increased. So this increase of pressure will cause the drum level to shrink initially. That means due to the increase of this pressure level inside this tank, the water, that means inside this tank water is like a shrink effect is occurred. That means the water level indicate the low water level, but from actual size, it not indicate the actual water level, but it indicate the slightly low water level inside this tank, inside this drum. So due to this increase in pressure, the drum level shrink initially and increase due to the higher inflow than the outflow. So this is the effect is known as the shrinking effect or the reduction effect. So in this, the water is reduced. So indicator indicate the water inside this drum is reduced, but actually the water is same as a normal position. So in the swelling, indicator indicate the water inside this drum is increased, and in sinking, water level indicator indicate the water inside this tank is low, but the actual level of the water is the same. So this is a sinking and swelling effect of the boiler drum. Now we see the inverse response. So before we understand the inverse response, we even take one example of the car. We all know when you push down your car's accelerator, you accept the car to speed up, right or wrong? That means when we push this accelerator, that at that time the speed of the car is increased. Okay, right or wrong? Right. But actually, what if slow down? That means to increase the speed, we push this accelerator. But actually, it happen the car speed is reduced. That means we try to increase speed, so we push this accelerator. But actually, it act as a opposite. That means the car speed is reduced when we push this accelerator. And in opposite side, when we leave this accelerator, at that time the car speed is increased. That means opposite effect. When we press, at that time car speed is decreased, and when we leave this accelerator, at that time the car speed is increased. Or even worsen, you left your foot off the accelerator and your car speed up, and the more you lift your foot, the more the car speed up. That means is opposite. So these are almost unthinkable, we know, and certainly scary situation. Yet they occur every day in thousands of boilers and some other process around the world. So this type of situation occur every day in the boiler. So the phenomena is known as inverse response. So this type of phenomena is known as inverse response. Inverse, that means opposite type of response. Here we try to increase the speed, but actually car speed is decreased. But when we try to decrease the speed, at that time car speed is increased. So here the opposite effect occurs. So this type of phenomena is known as the inverse response. Now, one of the most common occurrence of the inverse response is found in the control of boiler drum. So now we understand the inverse response in terms of water drum. So here this is the boiler drum, and this indicates the level inside this water level of the drum. So this is a level indicator and this is level controller. Now here what is inverse response we understand. The temperature of the feed water flowing into the drum is normally below the boiling point. That means what? If we add the water inside this drum, that means by using a feeding of the water system, this is a feed water system. So here we apply water to add in this drum. So we know the temperature of this new water, that means this added water, is of course lower than the temperature of inside this water. Yes or no? Yes, of course. Because here the inside this drum, the water level or the temperature of this water is higher than the temperature of the water that is we added in this drum is of course higher. So due to this, when we add more of this cold water to the boiler, some of the steam bubbles in the boiler condense. This causes the drum level to decrease, and the effect is known as inverse effect. That means when we add this cold water into this hot water, due to that here the bubbles present over this water is reduced. So due to this, the level indicator indicate the water level is low, but actually we are adding the water. So at that time the level indicator what indicate? The water inside this tank is increased, but it due to this inverse response effect, it indicates the level of water inside this tank, inside this drum is reduced. So this phenomena is known as inverse response. So this is a graph of this inverse response. We can understand better. Actually we adding the water, so water level can be increased this same. But here due to this inverse response, first it indicates the water level inside this tank is reduced. See, this is inside this water is because we add here cold water and this is a hot water. So due to the adding of this cold water, so some of the bubbles over this water level is condensed. So due to that, this inverse response or the inverse response effect is occur. But this is for the few seconds or very low time. So after that it indicate the water level right indication. That means initially it indicate the low level, but after some time it indicate the level as a right. So this is a inverse response. So however the effect is normally temporary. After a while, a higher rate of the feed water flow overcome the lost volume and the drum level rises. Then after some time is the come in the original position. That means this inverse effect is to follow temporary time. The opposite is also true. That means when we decrease the flow rate of the cold feed water, the steam production increase. That means here this is the flow water controller. That means this is the inlet water we added by using this valve. Now we reduce the flow of the inlet water in the drum. So here we reduce the inlet water. So at that time the cold water the flow rate is decreased. It increased the steam production increase, because here due to the pressure difference here flow rate we reduce it. Now here the more number of bubbles is produced, so it indicates the level of water is increased, and the additional steam bubble cause the drum level to rise. But after a while the drum level being to fall as x1. That means actually we reduce the we reduce the feed water. So water level indicate the low level of the water, but it indicates a high level of the water due to the inverse response. So this is known as the inverse response. That means when we added water in the boiler drum, at that time level indicator indicate the level of water is reduced, and when we increase the water flow rate, at that time it indicates the water level inside this tank is reduced. So inversely it indicates. So this is known as inverse response. Now to control this inverse response, there are the few control system or control scheme. So here we discuss about the first one control scheme. The name is the feed forward control. So this is the diagram of the feed forward control. So first of all we understand why we require the feed forward control system. So a feed forward control is used to maintain a steam water level, reducing the influence of shrink, swell and inverse response phenomena. That means to control here or to maintain the steam and water balance. That means this is the outlet steam, this indicate, and inside this water level. To balance this we use the feed forward control, and we know that this water level is changed or this steam flow is changed due to this inverse response or swelling or shrinking effect. The system shown in figure causes a feed water flow to match the steam flow in absence of action by the level controller. Now we understand the feed forward control. So first of all we understand this figure. This indicates the boiler drum, as we know. So inside this boiler drum is the water, and upper part is the steam, and this steam is go out from this, and this indicates the steam out. And we add water, that means the feeding system of the water is here. So here we add water, and this is a one valve. That means here we control the feeding of the water by using this. The flow of water is controlled by using this valve. So this is a one control valve, and this is a level controller. That means inside this water level controller, and this DP, and this DP is indicate the pressure. That means here it measure the pressure of the inlet water, and this measure the pressure of the outlet steam, and these two measurement is go to here, and this is a here indicate the this is a differentiate both, and this is a force difference controller, and this is and this is a level controller. Now we understand the feed forward control. So the two flow meters have identical ranges and their signal are subtracted. That means here this is a first flow meter and this is a second flow meter. Sorry, this is flow meter, and these two flow meters signal are subtracted here. That means this flow meter sends signal to here, and this flow meter, that means the steam outlet flow meter, sends signal to here. Now this two is subtracted here, and if the two flow rates are identical, the subtractor send a 50% signal to the flow differential controller. This is a flow differential controller. An increase in steam flow will call for an equal increase in a feed water flow to return the difference signal to 50%. That means we know if we increase the steam flow rate, that means at that time we require here the more water inside this boiler. So here this flow difference controller increase the flow rate by using this valve, and it increase the flow rate. That means an increase in steam flow will call for equal increase in the feed water. That means if the increase of the steam flow, then same it increase in the water flow. Then same in opposite side. If steam flow rate is decreased, so this controller valve is reduce the flow rate of the water. So this is a feed forward control system. So here it used to control the level of water inside this tank, inside this water drum, and accordingly the boiler system is working. That means if the steam outlet flow is increased, then water inlet flow of course increase. If we require low steam flow rate, that means here the steam outlet flow rate is reduced, so at that time the water inlet flow is also reduced. So this is a simple function of the feed water control system to regulate the steam and water flow rate. So an error in the steam water balance will cause a falling or rising a level. So here therefore the level controller must read just the set point of the flow difference controller to strike a steady state balance. That means here the level controller is read the set point of this flow difference controller and try to control the level of water inside this tank by opening or closing of this valve. So this is a feed water control system, and here figure also show the external feedback. We can see here this is a feedback loop present here. So what is the function of this feedback loop? We can understand. The figure shows the feedback from the flow difference measurement applied to the level controller. Here this is a flow difference measured by this system, and this apply here directly to this level controller. So here level controller is regulate the level of water inside this tank by this flow difference here. So this precondition, that means why we require this feedback loop, because the level control during the startup or at the other time when the feed water is controlled manually, at that time we have to use this feedback loop, and otherwise we know an increase in the steam flow will increase the feed water flow immediately without depending on the level controller. That means here we do not require the level controller, because this is directly increase or decrease. That means if steam flow rate is increased, then also the water inlet flow is increased. and when steam flow rate is decreased, then at that time water inlet flow is decreased by using this controlling valve, and that control by using this flow controller difference controller. So this means that the feedback portion of the loop, this LC, will need only to trim the delta FC set point to correct for flow meter error. So this is a feed forward control system. Okay.